Hey everybody, Mr. Irving here. It's my last video under Module 4, Topic G. And this video is my follow-up video to this video, one-step multiplication and division equations, fractions and decimals. 7-minute video, hopefully you've watched it by now. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple problems that come from this exercise right here. You may or may not get them when it's your turn to do the exercise, but the problems that I'm about to do are exactly like what you will see in that exercise. So after you finish that exercise, you just have another short video here with a little short article, and then it's going to be time for, and there's a quick exercise down here as well. But again, I don't think I need to do a follow-up video for these three, finding mistakes. I think that is pretty self-explanatory, and I think you'll do just fine without a follow-up video. Then it's time for quiz number 5. So I'm going to ask you guys to do this on Friday, and should be fun. 8 questions from everything you've learned this week. All right, so let me just talk about the exercises that involve fractions and decimals. So let's go to the whiteboard. All right, and there's the first problem. So again, it's an equation where you are being asked to find the value of a. And a, as you can see, is being multiplied by 1/2. 1/2 is called the coefficient. A is being multiplied times 1/2 to get to 11. Well, let's think about this for a moment. Anytime you multiply anything by 1/2, what you're doing is you're just taking half of whatever that number is. So in this case, I'm being told that half of a is 11. When I multiply a by 1/2, I get 11. So that tells me right away that my answer should be greater than 11. In fact, it should be double 11. And that's exactly what we're going to see is true here. So let's have a look. I want to get a all by itself. In order to do that, I have to do the opposite of multiplying it by a. I have to, instead of the opposite of multiplying it by 1/2, I have to divide it by 1/2. So again, we have a number here. We don't know what it is, and at the moment, we don't really care. What we do care about is that when we multiply it by 1/2, and then we divide it by 1/2, that puts us right back at a. So this side cancels itself out, and over here, we're going to divide 11 by 1/2. But this is where it could get slightly tricky. I remember back in, October, November maybe, where we learned this. When we're dividing by a fraction, that is the exact same thing as multiplying by its inverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert that fraction 1/2. It's now going to become 2 over 1. Remember that we can rewrite the number 11 as 11 over 1. And now we just simply multiply it straight across. 11 times 2 is 22. 1 times 1 is 1. And 22 divided by 1 gives us our answer, which is 22. So that's how you would solve that problem. Again, just one step. Don't overthink it. Over here, same type of thing. We're dealing with a decimal here. So I'll go ahead and switch colors just so you can see what I'm doing here. And again, same type of problem. You have this variable k. We don't know what k is, but we know that when we divide it by 1.5, 1.5, we get 3. So we need to do the exact opposite. Instead of dividing k by 1.5, why don't we go ahead and multiply by 1.5? And again, since we're working with equations, we don't just do it to the left side of the equation, we also do it to the right side of the equation. So now we have to multiply 3. Oh, this is very sloppy. I'm doing this all with my mouse. Very, very sloppy stuff. Sorry. We're multiplying 3 times 1.5. Well, this side just went away. And now we have 3 times 1.5. Well, that is a problem that we have also learned this year, and I believe you learned last year in 5th grade, so this should not be very challenging. If we set it up just like this, you don't need a calculator. It's basically the same thing as 15 times 3. 15 times 3 is 45. And it's just a matter of making sure that that decimal point gets where it's supposed to go. I see one digit to the right of a decimal point up here in this factor. I don't see anything here. That means my decimal point goes right there. So your answer for K is going to be 4.5 or 4 5/10. All right. I'll see you guys next week. I'll be looking forward to seeing your scores that you're getting on Khan Academy, and I'll also be looking forward to how we're doing on the warm ups. So hopefully you've been also doing your warm up every day this week and your daily word problem every day this week. So I'll be sharing those answers with you guys later, and hopefully you'll be able to check your own answers. Okay. See you next week. Bye.